So WNBA players have given a new meaning to the term player haters. I'm going to get to that in just a second. The All-Star voting returns came out. I think for the most part, the starters are correct. You see Aaliyah Boston, Olivia Miles, Paige Beckers, Kelsey Mitchell, Gabby Williams, Caitlin Clark, Jessica Shepard, Asia Wilson, Natasha Howard.
While Kelsey Mitchell took the position over Kelsey Plum, and I certainly thought Plum was brilliant, her recent injury likely shifted the momentum during the final stretch. It's hard to say exactly how the voting broke down.
Regardless, amongst available players, I think this list makes a lot of sense. The biggest pushback would be for the Atlanta Dream. The Atlanta Dream have no players with the starters, and obviously Ryan Howard, Alicia Gray,
and Angel Reese all putting up all-star caliber numbers. Let's break down the stats, although I will get to my other point later. Regarding the Dream, the reality is that the fan vote ended up hindering Gray and Howard significantly. Gray's results were mixed, but Ryan Howard's scores were notably
in the fan ranking than she was with the media and with the player ranks. If it were the media and the players, Ryan Howard would have made the team. This was tough where the positional breakdown came in because you could only vote for 4 guards. I think you should have just been able to vote for players, period. In an all-star game, I think you should just be able to vote for players, period. That's a shift.
Calling the shots, that's the policy I would implement. Still, it's clear they played at an elite level, but the depth of the guard position was just incredibly stacked. I can live with the final roster. As for Angel, she narrowly missed out. Her support across the various voting sectors was actually quite consistent, landing her just shy of the goal. She was edged out by Gabby Williams and Natasha Howard. It's hard to argue against that when you look at Gabby serving as the anchor for a strong Valkyrie squad
that Natasha Howard is having. But when you look at the returns, the things that stand out the most are the player. I mean, there's 2 standouts. One, the Dream not having any players and Angel Reese not being a starter. The other, the fan player voting, for Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Plum specifically.
If Plum's standing suffered because of her health issues. But it's still worth noting. Look at the gap. She was 5th according to the media, but dropped to 12th among players, while Clark ranked 3rd in media polling.
By the players, Caitlin Clark surprisingly finished only 2nd with the fans after she had moved up to 1st. Paige's fans must have gotten activated. I don't know. We can get into the fan vote another day. But the 11th ranking and the 12th ranking, let's start with Caitlin Clark.
Honestly, I'm at the point where I don't even have the energy to get worked up about this, and I'm quite exhausted, to be frank. However, you won't convince me that, at this stage, there isn't some underlying spite or pettiness directed at Caitlin Clark. I mean, the fact that seemingly nobody has reached out to see how she's doing or shown even a shred of solidarity following the incidents involving Alyssa Thomas and the Phoenix Mercury recently, on top of the various other issues she's faced since joining the pros.
I'm sorry, I just can't accept it. And for her to be 11th, it's one thing you want to make an argument. Like if maybe when you look at Clark and Plum, defense is heavily weighted amongst the players. Okay. But 11th, Caitlin Clark is carrying the
most impressive combined points and assists average in the entire history of this game. And she definitely isn't guarded like a mere 11th ranked guard. That is demonstrably false. The sheer volume of defensive focus she draws from opponents is...
So I simply cannot buy that on merit she's 11th. And given everything I've seen since she came into the league, including in the last week, that there ain't some animosity for Caitlin Clark or whatever word you want to use. And it trickles down to the Indiana Fever as well. Aaliyah Boston was 8th.
Was voted 8th among front court players by her peers. Now, the Fever are definitely fan favorites. But look at where Kelsey Mitchell landed. She was 7th in both pools. Every single Fever player was ranked significantly lower by peers.
And I've always thought that Caitlin Clark's popularity and the fact that she came into the league and has been talked about more than anybody else and given credit for rightfully so, the explosion in the league has led to the pushback, blowback, and resentment more than anything else, rather than, what the right wing folks will run with, like, she's straight and white.
I still hold that view, and you cannot tell me with a straight face that there isn't something real going on here. The Kelsey Mitchell situation is intriguing because she also finds herself strictly clear. Honestly, I'm hoping that she's actually as widely celebrated as people claim. I mean, one of
in the league. Kelsey Plum also, spoke out during the CBA negotiations and made it a point to say how much, you could argue she didn't break rank, but she made it clear that she wanted things to be wrapped up and resolved. I don't know.
Unable to peer into anyone's mind to see how that specific situation played out, but I personally find it baffling that Kelsey Plum would rank so poorly given the caliber of her performance this season. She definitely isn't just the 12th best backcourt player
In the league either. Jackie Young was actually 14th amongst the players. She was also 14th amongst the fans and the media. Jackie Young did have a couple of those stinker games, which maybe left in the impression where
she had 2 scoreless games recently. I'm unsure if that lingering memory hurt her, but Paige Bucas and Olivia Miles received universal acclaim, and deservedly so. Both Paige Bucas and Olivia Miles are worthy starters. Ultimately,
does it really matter when it comes down to the results and who's going to be on the floor in Chicago? No, it doesn't really matter. I do think they got the results mostly right, or the results wound up mostly right when you combine the fans, when you combine the media, and when you combine the players.
Still, it's frustrating. I honestly, again, I struggle to even get myself worked up over it, and I find myself needing to step back, eventually. But still, there is just a world of difference between debating defensive metrics or prioritizing specific facets of the game. That's totally valid, and we can definitely have a legitimate basketball discussion based on that. However, when there is such a massive divide between labeling her the top guard in the circuit, which is my genuine belief, and placing her at 11th, that discrepancy feels impossible to justify without, quite frankly, assuming there's some bitterness from other players involved.